Hi everyone, this is Danielle, and I just wanted to share with you a quick setup of how I plan on planning from now on. This has been quite a journey. I've tried many planners and they were all good, but they were all missing something. And so finally, I realized that I have a love hate relationship with rings. I hate writing next to rings, but I love how I can customize the rings. So I am going back to a ring planner. That's where I have been since high school. Actually, I was in a spiral bound in high school since college. So I'm going back to a ring planner and I'll just take my inserts out to write on them and problem solved. So today I just moved into my Spek Water Buffalo. It's got the lipstick pink stitching. This is just a beautiful binder. It has the lipstick pink. It's a custom, so it has lots of pockets in the front and lots of pockets in the back. I do love the Dear Lily stencils on Etsy. I have tons of those. This is actually a stencil I made. A lot of the shapes that I use and the size that I wanted. And then of course my Hobonichi stencils. This is a B6 notebook that I use, and it fits beautifully in here. I'd actually cut it down to fit. I cut a little bit off the side to have it fit in here, and this is just a notebook of thoughts. I can move it, change it, whatever I want to do. If I don't want to have it in my rings, then it's not in my rings. This is just protecting the back of the stuff in my binder. Now, the beginning of my binder, I have a fly leaf and a quote, and I think this is actually from Color Crush. So I think that's where it came from. I made this dashboard. Now, these dashboards that I use, these are from Foxy Fix, and these are the perfect solution because I can take and change as much as I want to. Sorry about the glare, everyone. So, but I can take and change as much as I want to, and I just used Avery tabs and then scrapbook paper with the Carpe Diem labels to label all of my dividers. But this is a Julie Nutting stamp. I love Julie Nutting. Huge fangirl of her. This is a Christmas stamp set that I've had for ages. I stamped these on white cardstock, colored them with my Copic markers, and then pasted everything on here. This is from a 6x6 Christmas pack, either at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And then this is the Tim Holtz. The black is the Tim Holtz Christmas. So this is my calendar divider. She's just here because I like her. She makes me happy. And then one of the things I loved about my Hobonichi, and I used the monthly months on 2 page for, was tracking. And so I made my own trackers using that inspiration. And so I have 2 blank ones right here. This is miscellaneous. So when I clean my fountain pens or things like that, this is bills. So I mark when the bills are due and then I color it in when they've been done. My PTO, my paid time off, that's how I track the days that I take off. And then I'm on call. I do 4 to 5 days a month on average. So these are the days I've been on call, and these are actually the days I coordinate a transplant. So that is what I use these trackers for. Since I am not going to be using the Hobonichi A6 next year for my planner, this was something I really wanted and would miss if I didn't have it. So I'm incorporating it into this binder, which is one of the things I love. Is I'm quite good at making inserts to meet my needs. I've done it for years. I did it in college when I couldn't find what I needed. So artwork off of Etsy. There are some great designers on Etsy. I do love Erin Bradley Designs. I use a lot of her clip art. of course, the So Much Crafting yearly calendar. This may be a travesty, but this is from Heather Nichols. This is her artwork, and I actually cut it down to fit. So they come in 5x7. I'm a huge fan of her artwork. I highly recommend checking her out on Etsy if you haven't. If you see any of my posts and you see these gorgeous girls that are drawn, they are probably her work, and it's H. Nichols on Etsy. So my hubby, so sweet, I have him sign a tag for me just so I can carry him with me always in whatever I'm using. This is the monthly tab for the Cocoa Daisy planner kit, and I love the Cocoa Daisy planner kits. I'm not using the inserts right now, but I love these dividers. One, because I know this is the current month I'm on. See, labeled December. But then also when I file these for archiving purposes, then they are great to separate the months that way in the year. So again, the Julie Netting doll, as I told you, I love her, love her, love her. And then I love the So Much Crafting inserts. So these are wonderful. So I love the Build Do stickers, Planning Made Perfect. She was wonderful. Jennifer was just fabulous. She custom made these for me because I love these in my personal size planner. The ones that come with the monthly kits for the personal and the A5, I like those. I will use those in my A5, but for my personal, I prefer the corners. And then these inserts I made. So I also use the A5 cousin, and I love the cousin. My favorite thing about the cousin is actually the week. And that's what I missed from not using the cousin anymore. So this I created, and these boxes, these rows are actually the same size as the boxes in the Hobonichi. So I can use my Hobonichi stencils. It works perfectly. I'm keeping a very similar layout that I had before, and I'm able to keep track of my life. So I really like to know what my week is going to look like so I can plan what I'm doing when. So really like doing that. I love the daily planning. The Hobonichi, the A6 is perfect for my daily planning. I love it. And one of the things I loved about it is this layout that I ended up creating. I used DIY Fish. I used her Hyperdex, and it works great. Actually, I haven't marked this one. So let me show you a different one that I have marked. So I keep track of my hours. I used to keep personal time because I was horrible at incorporating personal time into my life. But now I just keep track of sleep and work. So that way I have my hours tracked, especially if I'm doing a time study for work. For fun, I like to know when the sun's going to rise and the sun's going to set. Now this isn't down to the minute, but it gives me a pretty good idea of how the days are changing. I keep track of weather, just a fun thing I love to track. And we finally got snow. Yay! It's been about time. I keep track. So even though I have my weekly schedule, each day I like to look and go, okay, what am I doing today? So I'll write down what I have scheduled. I listen to audiobooks as well as read. So if I do an audiobook, I draw these little headphones here. Dashes are for notes. I use dashes for notes across the board because if I'm in a traveler's notebook or in a book that the squares do not accommodate the Hobonichi stencils very well, then I will use the dot to mark a task. So to keep from confusing myself, I just use a dash mark for notes. My graded task, of course, and this graph paper I actually made. I made this in Pages. I do have a Mac, so I used Pages to create this, and these boxes are the same size boxes in the Hobonichi, and I wanted to make sure that I had 24 boxes across for my full day. So this is a personal size page. It is the 3.75 by 6.75 inches. I keep track of my daily Bible reading, my steps, and usually on Sundays I go back and write down my steps, so that's why none of that is recorded. Stamps, because I love coloring, it's my therapy, so I'll just incorporate those for fun. I am a Colts fan, I'm a Kentucky fan, so I do keep track of games. And then here, when I'm reading a book, here's my little book of reading. Of course, the Bible reading separate, so that doesn't count. And then I use the dollar symbol for when I order something or buy something. And then I haven't had anything shipped yet, so, but I also use an envelope symbol for when when something has been sent to me. Now, I did have my Bible study on Monday, but I actually ended up falling asleep before my Bible study. I had been on call all weekend, so I was really tired. I tracked my mood, which is probably why this has not been filled in yet. So I actually marked it out because that didn't get accomplished. So it's kind of a bullet journal. You know, I use the philosophy of Jenny Penton and Planner Perfect, and I don't write full sentences because unfortunately I'm the type that I've been a nurse for so long. It is hard for me to write full sentences anymore. So this is how I think. So this is the method that I use. This works great, kind of like the bullet journal system. I have my identifiers, my signifiers, my key, and then I can, with making my own pages, I can have as much or as little as I want to. I also love this paper. I got it off of Amazon. It is a 70-pound paper. It is kind of a creamy white. I know some people prefer bright white. I actually don't care if it's bright white or a little off white. I don't even care if it's in the next to each other in the same binder, which is so not like me. So actually this works for me. This is a Project Life divider. I cut it down to fit, and I actually need to change my thing since I just changed binders, although this will work because it still has the pink in it. So this is what I use, and it marks my today. And then this is actually a stocking list, so I'm not going to show that, but these are the So Much Crafting sidebars. I will use these to keep track of work tasks that I think of when I'm at home. I'll just jot them down. I keep a separate work planner. As I said, I am a nurse, and the nature of my job is I take patient calls, I see patients in clinic, I have to follow up on test results. So with all of that information, I do not want to carry it with me. That's a lot of private, sensitive information, so I don't want to carry it. So I actually do have a separate binder. So I'll use these sidebars to write down things that I need to remember to do when I'm at home, so I don't forget things. We are actually having a fun holiday spirit next week at work, so I just printed this out and put it in here to remind me. Again, I've started my weekly calendar for next week, although I have not filled it out. Now, when I made these columns, these are the same width as the Reset Girl weekly stickers, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm using the monthly stickers in here and then using the zebra mild liner to highlight the week. So that works for me, and I have a few extra pages in here. And then again, as I said, I love the Julie Nutting dolls, so I have gone through. I have not marked bills and all of those things in the months going forward, but I do have events and things scheduled. I do keep track of the moon, holidays of course, and then birthdays and any task. And I don't remember where I've learned this, but I've done this for a couple of years now, and it is wonderful. So I need to get the oil changed in my Forester. in January. That's when it was due. So when I had it changed the last time, I put the due date on the month that it was due going forward. That way I don't have to keep looking at my car or try to remember or wait for a reminder from the dealer. I have it written here. And so when I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to schedule that. So that is a method that has worked really well. I've done it in the Hobonichi, I've done it in my traveler's notebooks, and I've done it in my ring planner. It's just a little tip. I don't remember where I picked it up, but it is great. My dividers, I love wood grain paper. They just make me happy. And then I will just stick themed cards or notes or pictures or whatever in here. So I haven't decorated my planner fully for Christmas yet. So that's what I've done here. Oh, going back here for a moment. This is a Mochi Things pin loop. And since this binder only has one pin loop, I stuck it on this particular divider so I could carry my pencil with me, because I use a pencil a lot in planning, especially on monthly calendars. I've always used a pencil, and it's just a habit I'm not going to change. I'm not a fan of the friction pens. I love how they write. I think the concept is fabulous, but I do leave my planner in the car or other places that may get hot, and I do not want to lose everything. So I just stick to a good old-fashioned pencil. I have sticky notes with me always. That way, if I need to leave a note for somebody, leave a note for myself, they're here. I need to take this out. This Bible study is now complete, but I'll keep track of Bible studies, scripture, reading, and writing in here. I need to put December in here. As I said, I was on call last weekend, so I did not get a lot of stuff done. And before that, it was planning for Thanksgiving. So this is my list. And I stuck in some list here from old planners, journaling prompts. I'm going to be moving my book list, wish list, things like that in there. These stickers I got off of Etsy, and I unfortunately do not remember the seller, and I can't find them anymore. But I just love them. They're so cute. I love Pride and Prejudice, so they just make me happy. And that's what this book is. This book, not only does it keep me organized, but it's just little sparks of joy here and there. This is my travel section, so of course I'm using a map on the front. And I do love Disney, so I have Mickey in here. I like to carry a map with me, so this is a map that I printed from the internet. Again, I really try not to use any copyright or sold material. I try to use free printables. I don't share this. That way, if for some reason it is not truly free or anything like that, that I'm not taking away the amazing artists that create these things for us. Life notebook on Etsy. I have the A5 and the personal, and I don't have all of the personal in here, just a few of the checklist that I want for me. So as you see, these haven't been filled out yet, but hopefully on Christmas break, when everything is done and calmed down for a week or so, then my husband and I can start filling out these lists. Here's my notes section. And this can be a hodgepodge of anything. So these are just different notes, meetings or whatever that do not pertain to work. Brain dump. One night I couldn't sleep, so I just got up and I emptied my brain. So those are some things I want to do, list and all of those. And then all about me. I do not have any private information in here yet. I will, but just not yet. And so it's, oh, there's my books I want to read. I need to move the location of that. But it's just things I want to see, writing down my goals, things like that. So nothing that I would be devastated if it was lost. But it's about me, and I really don't want to share it with the rest of the world. So this, I just love this paper. I love cherry blossoms. So again, this isn't just in here to make me happy. This is my home tab, And this is kind of where I'll keep the numbers for the dentist, the doctor, things like that, and then keep the contacts for family. Of course, I don't have those in there right now because I don't want to share those with the world. And again, back to this notebook. So this is my Spek planner. I have the 30 millimeter rings. I love these planners. I love the size of these rings. I highly recommend them. They are well made. Petra is just, she is so sweet. Her customer service is top notch. So I highly recommend it. I am excited to finally have come to a decision on what I'm going to do. Again, this is a combination of all the planning systems that I've used over the last year. I'm still going to use my Hobonichis, but they are going to change to more of a creative purpose. And I've been journaling in Hobonichi, the A6, for 2 years. And this year I had an A6 for planning and an A6 for journaling. Next year I just have one A6, and that's for journaling. And then I did get a cousin again, and that will just be it. The purpose for it will probably change once a week. So I may do listers, got a list one day, rock your handwriting the next day. So, but something creative every day is my goal for what to do in my A5 cousin. I do like to create. So it's my therapy. I usually try to do it every day. If you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and you all have a wonderful day. Bye.